Hi, I'm Susan. Welcome back to my channel. This is where we help leaders find their voice and use their voice. So, I have such a fun topic today, and it's actually one of the most researched questions that YouTube is offering up that people are looking for right now, and that is how to be bold and confident. So, of course, I couldn't pass up the opportunity to talk about this one because I feel so strongly that this is not something that just sits and lives for any one person and never moves. Boldness and confidence are moving targets, right? They're always moving around depending on what else we have going on in our sphere of influence, within ourselves, our personal, our mental, and our spiritual self. All of that matters. So the question is popular, the answers are plentiful. For this purpose, I can only present to you from my perspective. So I am giving you a midlifer woman's perspective, having lived through many, many experiences that I approached with zero confidence and zero boldness. And I would say today I'm a 180 on that spectrum. However, certain instances, certain experiences will still pull me back to feeling like I'm a little shook in those areas because that is perfectly normal and natural. None of us just stay there. That is important to remember. So if you're here looking for how to build your own boldness and confidence, and you need to hear that from someone who's lived with it and without it, hang out with me, give me a like, hit me with a subscribe, and ask me any questions in the comments. Any part of this that you want to hear more, I would gladly produce for you. So let's hop right into it. Boldness and confidence. Boldness is more of a thing, right? Confidence is more of a constant. So let me explain what I mean. And I should probably preface this with, I am not an expert in teaching word definitions. I am not an expert in any sort of medical field, any field that's around science, none of that. I am someone who's sharing over 25 years of experience in the leadership space, and I've raised children, I am a wife, I am a daughter, I am a sister. So having confidence in multiple different settings is all experience based. I just want to make sure you understand. I don't want to misrepresent any of my qualifications or credentials because that would be awful. I am, however, an Army veteran, so I have 5 years of experience really needing to be bold and confident as a young person. And I've grown through multiple chains of hierarchy up the ladder to become a president CEO of a nonprofit organization. So again, boldness, kind of like a one-offer, boldness requires confidence to be able to execute. Confidence does not require boldness, although sometimes they will live together. Let me bring that a little bit further. We sometimes wake up and we just want to have these things. We want to have boldness, we want to have confidence, but we're not putting all the pieces of the puzzle together. So take just a minute to do an inventory. Think about yourself as a whole human. You have from head to toe your one package. So when you take boldness and confidence and you just think that should show up somewhere, you can't expect to manifest that if you don't know where you're pulling it from. Are you with me on that? Hit me with a like, hit me with a subscribe, share with someone else who needs to know. Let me explain this way. There is a part of the brain that is responsible for regulating our emotions, which are absolutely going to be connected to where we draw our confidence from. I don't certainly believe that boldness is generated from a specific part of the brain, but because we need confidence to be bold, you want to focus on that first. So let's think about building confidence. If confidence to you means having a skill or being able to communicate or demonstrating something to someone, you have to be very clear first. What does that mean to you? Are you trying to emulate someone else's confidence level? And if so, that's okay. It's kind of a starting point, but you have to make it about you. What are you trying to do to where are you feeling that pain point of the lack? If you don't feel like you have confidence, where is it not showing up? Because I'll bet you that doesn't exist across your whole life. I've met women who don't have confidence to speak in a business meeting or a staff meeting, but as soon as they leave the office, they're driving home and they are with confidence telling other drivers on the road where to go and what to do. And then they get home and they very much with confidence are telling their children and their family members what to do, where to go, what, all of those things. So harnessing the confidence to get it to apply into another situation is not that big of a stretch because you already have it in one platform. So if that's the case, it's a matter of just practicing, honing in your voice that we talk about all the time here on this platform, and then using it so that you can demonstrate you have confidence. However, let's back up to the part of the brain. Again, I'm not a scientist. I don't do that part. I am someone who knows how to research on the Google machine just as well as you do. And in that research, I learned there are multiple components that are responsible for how confidence is derived from the brain, and then we demonstrate it. The prefrontal cortex has something to do with that, but there are actually multiple regions of the brain, which again doesn't surprise me because we are complex beings. There are multiple parts, but where we self-regulate our emotions, how we are able to pull different bits of information from different parts of our brain all impact our ability to demonstrate that confidence and to feel that confidence. So healthy brain is really going to be important if you are on a journey and a quest to build your own confidence level. So you have to do a brief inventory. Are you taking really good care of your body? And if you think that doesn't matter, I need to tell you that it does. One of the other things that I've done in my life, past life, I feel like I've lived a bazillion lives because I have so many interests and I've done so much different areas of study because I just kind of geek out that way. But I did a bachelor's degree in holistic nutrition and learned a lot about what our body needs in terms of nourishment, not in terms of medication, but in terms of nourishment. So in relation to that and in regards to that, it's really important for you to know that every single thing that you put into your body is going to impact your brain. It's going to impact the health of your entire body. Add to that things that you are not putting into your body when it comes to vitamins, minerals, nutrients, water, air, all of those things. Even what you put in visually. What are you watching? What are you looking at? What are you listening to? All of those things directly impact the health of your brain. So if you need a healthy brain to really sustain all of the components that will give you the confidence that you need, you have to pay attention to that and make sure that you have some checkpoints that you can say, okay, I know I'm supporting the health of my brain through exercise, decent food, decent sleep, decent water. You don't have to put yourself on a whole regimented, ridiculous, hard routine just to gain confidence, but they do live together. They all belong in the same neighborhood. So you do have to have a basic review of that. Listen, if you're on if you're on the sugar really hard and you're drinking and smoking and doing all these different things and eating Twinkies and you can't remember the last time you nourished your body with anything living, it's going to have an impact on how your brain is functioning. You might not recognize that because you've been doing just fine, and that's okay. I'm just saying this for your consideration, because if you're struggling with being able to demonstrate confidence or even feel it before you can demonstrate it, start with that evaluation. Am I supporting the health of my brain so that I can seek to feel and demonstrate the confidence that I want? Once you've gotten to that place where you're starting to feel like, okay, I'm feeling relatively healthy, I feel like I have energy to focus on how I'm going to build my confidence, because confidence is built. So I'm not sure who needs to hear that part of this equation. If you think confidence is something that somebody just wakes up with and has, you have it wrong. It is our experiences that we fail, we get back up, we try, we learn, we grow. Every time something goes wrong and every time something goes right, but when you're staying in action and you're having experiences, you're building your own confidence level. So again, let me go back to what I said at the beginning. If you're watching someone else and you want to emulate the confidence that they have, you can let that serve as your inspiration, but don't try to copy what someone else has, because you are the only you, and your confidence is specific and unique to you. So once you have a pretty healthy thing going on and you know what you need the confidence for, are you looking for confidence in conversation? Are you looking for it in one-on-ones? Are you looking for it in groups? I'll tell you what, my confidence to speak to hundreds of people at once is relatively high. My confidence to speak to one or two people that I don't know is not as strong. It takes me a while. I have to do all these mental gymnastics to remind myself that, wait a minute, that same confidence that I can execute over there, I can draw from and apply over here. So that's very different than needing confidence to execute a function of my job. I might not have confidence in an Excel spreadsheet, which, spoiler alert, I don't, but I have confidence in my ability to know how to find the information to teach it to myself so that I can do it. I might not master it, but that's not a high stakes confidence to me. That's a need-based confidence. I need some confidence to be able to do certain elements of my job, but I need to master confidence around other areas to really excel at my job. The same is true for you. So you have to identify that for yourself and decide, what does that look like? What is your end game? What do you need to improve upon to get there? And once you have decided that, I'm going to give you 2 tasks, okay? This is how you're going to build your confidence. Once you know where you're going, here's the 2 things. First, you're going to do a little self-check and identify at least 2 areas where you don't struggle with confidence. You feel actually solid, really solid. It can be anything that's between you and you, so you don't have to feel funny about it. Everyone is good at something and more than one thing. So be kind to yourself. Identify 2 things. Once you have that, identify 2 things that you want to gain confidence in. Why are you listening to what someone has to say about how to help you? Because you have a particular need and only you know that need. And again, that's between you and you. So write that down. Now I want you to draw a little arch. You're going to bridge. What is it that you are bringing to the table in those areas that you have the confidence for these 2 things? And how do you bridge that energy, activity, mental perspective, and your I want to say gumption, like your oomph, right? Everyone's got an oomph. I don't know what feeds yours. And what feeds mine can't feed yours. What are those elements that you can draw from and say, even if these 2 things terrify me, I'm going to pull everything that I know that I'm bringing to the table for these 2 things where I'm strong, and I'm going to get my mind set, because I'm telling you, that's where it is. You get your mind right, which is why you need your healthy brain. You pull those things over and then you mental plan it. You have a mental plan to trick yourself really into saying, okay, my body is doing what my brain is telling it. So if you are reminding your brain that you have everything you need right here, and now you're going to take all those things and bring it right over here, your brain is just along for the ride. If you're taking good care of it, tell it what to do and your body will follow. So you're going to practice, and then you're going to go back to your notebook, wherever you're keeping track of this. Maybe it's on your phone, and you're going to make a note. How did it go? How did you feel? How did you feel physically? How did you feel mentally? Because if you don't really pay attention to those things, then you can't go in and do the corrective action that you need for yourself. It's not supposed to be perfect straight out of the gates. You have to go back and say, gosh, you know what? I felt like I was going to throw up. I had butterflies. I was so nervous that my face was red. I was sweating. I was afraid then because I was sweating that I looked shiny and maybe I'm going to stink. Whatever it is, you build a strategy for next time. I'm going to have some things in place that mitigate my physical response to practicing my confidence. And when I say mitigate, I mean practically help yourself out. Wear 2 shirts instead of 1 because that one is going to soak up all the sweat. Sounds like maybe it would make you too hot. If that's an issue for you, then don't do that. Just find something moisture wicking. Put deodorant on every single part of your body if you have to. Nobody knows. Nobody knows what you're doing. Wear something that is the most comfortable and makes you feel the most confident. Do these little hacks for yourself. Anything that it will take to mitigate. Hold a water bottle, drink water. You know what? I don't know anyone who doesn't suffer from allergies. I mean, I'm doing this almost the whole time through this because my nose will not stop running. My voice is a little scratchy. So it would make perfectly good sense if I needed ice cold water to sip on and said, oh, I'm just having some allergy issues. That's fine. You don't have to put all your secrets out there. Just have a strategy that keeps you as comfortable as possible while you are practicing. That's physically. Mentally, you're going to have to figure out your own mental gymnastics. Everyone has a go-to. Back in the day, it seemed to be anything that you looked for to help strategize. You'd hear things like, just picture everyone putting their pants on the same way. We're all humans. Everybody picture them all naked, and then it's like you have the upper hand because you have your clothes on, and whatever strategy speaks to you. For me, I had to overcome this, and I still work on overcoming this because I'm hypersensitive to the way people respond to my interaction. So when I see a look on someone's face, I can get so thrown. So I've had to tell myself, whatever people look like when you're presenting information, you can't take it personal because really, I have no idea why people are even in that space. The ones who are interested will show you that they're interested. The ones who maybe just came along because someone convinced them or they have to be there, they might be thinking about other things that have nothing to do with me, or they might be listening intently, but they just have like a really unusual thinking face. And I'm interpreting that as something negative when it's not. So I've had to get myself to really reconcile whatever I think I see has nothing to do with me. Every individual has the right to their own feelings, their own opinion, their own resting thinking face. That's not mine to own. So I'm not going to take it personally. So I don't know how you want to establish your own mental gymnastics to pep talk yourself, but I promise you, in the early stages of practicing how to build confidence, you need to pep talk yourself a lot, and that's normal, and that's okay. So do it in moments of calm so that when you're under fire and you're feeling the pressure, you have exactly what you need. You've thought about it, and you're ready to execute your plan of practice. Every time you do this, you're going to improve. My suggestion to you, if you want to accelerate building your confidence, is that you need to seek out situations that you can practice your confidence and then demonstrate your confidence. Don't wait for someone to come to you, and all in that waiting time, you just think to yourself, once I have a chance, I'm going to be better prepared and I'm not going to freak out. That's okay, but it's not really intentional and it's not really forward thinking and being ahead of the game. You want to put yourself ahead of the game by looking for opportunities that you can shine. And you know what? You got to rub some stuff out of the way first before you can shine. Nobody cares where you are in your journey. That sounds cold and kind of mean, but really nobody cares. They're concerned about how are they coming across? What do they look like? And if you have something to say, they need to hear it. It's okay if you were a little nervous or a little sweaty or a little bit bubbly in your delivery. It's okay. Confidence comes from practice, 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 and you have to seek out opportunities to do that. Think of your body language, think of your voice tone, think of your health from head to toe. And what I mean by that is you can't separate, well, I'll be healthy by doing cardio, or I'll be healthy by eating a banana that day. You have to have a generalized healthy approach in your mind, your body, and your spirit, or you're not going to show up in the right space. How you do that for yourself is personal. It's not my business, but I'm happy to talk it through with you if you need help. Sometimes we just need to kind of hone this in. So that is my advice to you on confidence. Let me speak briefly about boldness. Boldness is born from confidence. You can't have boldness without confidence. Boldness is kind of the special occasion, right? So every time you leave your house, you have footwear. Footwear is your confidence. When you leave the house for a super special occasion and you need just that one pair that you will wear for just that time, that's boldness. Do you follow me? Boldness is unique for every purpose, every individual's purpose. I require boldness for, let's say it is to deliver a message about my personal mission statement, and I'm terrified that it's not going to align with someone else's. Well, I'm going to have to be bold and speak up. Boldness could be, I am advocating on behalf of a vulnerable individual who does not have voice for themselves. Therefore, I represent what is best for them. That's boldness. Someone else might just want to add a highlight to a regular staff meeting, but because they've never done it before, and it's a huge part of their own learning and growth journey, that would be boldness. What they say might not be a bold statement, but it would be boldness. Does that track with you? Boldness looks different for everyone. It is meaningful depending on your own needs, your own wants, and the way that you are sharing your voice and your mission and your purpose. So boldness does require confidence. So when you leave today from this little teaching, I want you to write things down quickly. Write down, take notes, what resonated for you. Remember the exercise I gave you for learning how to practice your confidence. And then think about what is important to me and my values that I would consider taking a step of boldness to make a point and to be heard. Because what you don't want to do with boldness is just throw it all out there where it doesn't fit, because that's confusing, and other humans in their brain aren't going to understand. Our brain is constantly looking to reconcile things from other humans to make sense in our own world. You can help someone else by making sure you're regulating yourself and using boldness where it's appropriate.